Hey everyone, Emanuel here, your certified body code practitioner, certified group energy facilitator. I'm excited to continue reading this amazing book. We are on page 91. And this is kind of, it's not getting redundant, but I love, see, the thing is that the reason why I really appreciate what Brad's doing is he's giving all these different times where you want to kind of like know the modus operandi of how a body code practitioner thinks, you know? He thinks differently than we do. Let's just say that. Because we're in a society that we typically just want a quick Band-Aid, take a pill, do this, like, you know, you need energy, take caffeine. It's like we have these quick twos, you know? And he's not really looking for the quick fix it. He's looking for the what is below this? What is the associated imbalance? It's a different way of thinking. It's patient, it's thoughtful, it's long-term healing. It's different. It's just, you have to understand, when we're talking about somebody who brings a healing modality to this planet, they can't think like a regular person because society has programmed us to have very quick satisfaction, not a delayed satisfaction. That is not human nature. So just know that, like, you know, you might think like, oh, here he goes again, associated imbalance, and do we need to know anything? It's like, it's kind of like a computer, you know, he's kind of like the way, he's very logical, you know, left or right, associated imbalance. Is there another associated imbalance? You know, but the reality is that I think the beginning of a beautiful life is asking the right questions. If you really want an amazing life, it is directly proportional to the questions you ask. And what questions are you asking in your life? And a lot of us don't know how to ask very good questions. And the body code is kind of teaching us, you know? In fact, whenever my wife and I have an area where we feel blocked, a lot of now the question is, I wonder what we'll find in the body code. See, that's a different question. Instead of, oh, I wonder why this is happening to me. That's an open-ended, victimized question. I now use and say this more often, not in the beginning, but more often now, is, I wonder what energy is causing this. You know, when my wife starts yawning and she gets super tired, I kind of make a joke with her. I'm like, I wonder what idea intolerance is affecting you right now. I'm like, is there an idea intolerance? Oh, what do you know? You know, we go in there and we start diving in, you know. I remember one time she was going to her mother's house and she needed to move some things out. And I asked, you know, is there anything that's causing her to yawn a lot, kind of get really tired? And I forgot what it was. It was an idea intolerance, but I think it was like it was like an emotion. I think it was like lack of control. Like, you know, like when she feels that there's like, oh, I have to do something, I have no control over this, whatever. At this point, she had to clean stuff out. She had no control over it, right? So whenever she taps into anything with lack of control, her body goes into stress mode, anxiety, nervous, headache, tired, you know? And I worked on her, and then boom, her energy shot up, not right away, just a few minutes later, maybe 5-10 minutes later. She was having music on, she was doing all this cleaning and stuff. She's like, wow, I have way more energy. Whatever you removed, I'm like, oh, I removed a idea intolerance. She's like, yeah, I have way more energy. I think I can finish more than I thought I would. She went like 2 hours cleaning and removing things when typically she would only go for 30 minutes and then she'd be tired, like fully tired, like no more work being done. So again, that's just kind of an example. What questions are you asking yourself? Your body code app should be an extension of you, similar to like a phone. You have a phone on your right pocket, you should have the body code app in the left pocket. It's just something that's just available. If you're quick to Facebook or quick to Google, you should be also quick to body code. And your life will change. I have a practitioner that used to work on me, really sweet lady, and she told me that whenever she feels off balance, she just takes out her body code app and be like, I wonder what I'm feeling right now, you know, and just go in there and just heal real time. It's called healing at real time. And that might be very, very powerful. If you want to reach the higher levels of consciousness, anytime some reverberation comes up, I mean, don't get, you know, OCD about it, but whatever reverberation, if you feel off or you feel just off balance in any way, perfect time to say, what energies am I feeling right now? And do a body code session and then see what you find. Just remove it. That way you don't feel that way again in the future, right? So anyway, so 91, didn't really make any comments there. 93, it talks about in the bottom, the last paragraph here, says, the more you practice the body code, the more intuitive you'll become. The most important aspect of your session is your intuition. Pay attention to it. Do what you feel is needed. More ideas will be revealed to you as you get more confident with the process. This is so true. Your intuition will increase as you keep practicing. Don't give up on yourself. One of the things that, if you have a client, or maybe you are the client, you've had a lot of sessions, you don't know why things are working. One of the things that I would intuitively put in the session is, do I feel safe with blank? So let's say you're working with someone with love issues, love imbalances, can't attract something, or maybe a lot of issues in their current love relationship. But for some reason, they're not seeing much shift after a few sessions. You may want to check, do you feel safe with a blank loving relationship? If you're working on money, for some reason not seeing a lot of money shifts. Brad talks about it, how it's like a lid, a pipe and a lid. The lid is the do you feel safe to blank, whatever the blank is. And you might be doing sessions. See, and I always tell people, I'm like, wait, we did a do you feel safe after 5 sessions. Did we just waste 4 sessions on that? And the answer is no. This is very key. The answer is no. Maybe those 4 sessions needed to be done first, and the body was like, okay, now let's talk about safety. Sometimes the safety needs to come first. The body's weird. Sometimes it allows the pipe to fill. Sometimes it doesn't want to move the water unless the lid comes out. So it really depends on what you muscle test. But here's what's beautiful. You can tell your clients this, because this is true. Whenever you do a do you feel safe to blank, it has a retroactive effect. It goes backwards to all the sessions. So I remember, I think I did a do you feel safe to heal with someone, and I worked 2 or 3 times with their tongue, and it had these little bumps on it. And then once I did a do you feel safe to heal, or I think it was either an inner child, which also goes retroactive, her session went even better. All of a sudden it started working. So that's very key, is you might want to put that on the list, is if you see a lot of themes of physical issues, they may not feel safe to heal because they've been to other practitioners, they've been to other acupuncturists, they've been to different places, they didn't get the results they want. There's trauma in the journey of healing, so they do not feel safe to heal. If someone's looking for love, do you feel safe with a loving relationship? They labeled the loving relationship as their parents, which was toxic, or their first girlfriend, which was awful, or an inherited great-great-great-grandfather who had a terrible divorce and got passed down all the way down to you. They don't feel safe with a loving relationship. And there's energies in there that are saying, no, we don't do relationships, So very key. Leave it always as an option. Also, you might want to put higher self. So those are 2 options I would add to a list. If someone gives you a list of things, write down higher self healing. Also write, do you feel safe, ... And then just choose, is it a physical? Oh no, it says higher self first. Okay. So there's something the higher self wants to remove to make the session better. Okay. And let the higher self go at it with the body code. And so once I remove something, like it was an associated imbalance, yes, there is, find that, whatever, I remove it. Does the higher self still want to, this is a great question, does the higher self still want to remove something before we actually officiate the session? No? Okay, cool. Should we go to the physical symptom? Oh, look, it says no. What does it say? Do I feel safe to something? Okay. Do I feel safe to heal? Oh, look, that's what we need to work on. Okay. Or it might say the physical symptom and it skips, do you feel safe to heal? Just listen to it. Fine. Okay. Bypass that. Go to that physical symptom. Page 94. What does it say? I recommend you do this with each subject each time you work. Okay. This is the 4th paragraph. I recommend that you do this with each subject. Each time you work with a person, do it for each session, even if you're working with several people in a row. This is super key. I've done events where I speak in front of a bunch of people and I'm doing session after session after session. I don't do one prayer for the whole thing. You'll see me stop and I'll say, hey, everyone send good vibes to this person. Let's take 10 seconds and then boom. Why do we do that? Because according to this person who had the ability to have the discernment of spirits, spoke to Dr. Brad and said something to the extent of, hey, do you know that your relatives are helping out during the sessions, right? So it kind of makes sense. You have to ask for help. It's almost like you just work with someone and their relatives and the divine, and then you're going to go to somewhere else and then have no assistance. You might want to have their assistance as well. So that's very key, is you always want to ask for help. If you're working with another person, don't ever neglect the asking for help from above before each person. It's absolutely key. I don't think I've ever started a session with no help. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I've never done it in 9 years. I'm pretty proud of myself. Never done it once. I always ask for help, and the benefits of them. It's, you can just tell when you're tapped in. You know. Let's see. Also, you know, there's that scripture that says, "Where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am." You know, so again, 2 people gathering in the name of something. Okay, 95. It says here, 4th paragraph down, if you're working with someone who has no physical, mental, or emotional issues that they can identify, you can simply ask, what's the most important balance we can identify? Okay, I've never met somebody that's not, has no emotional, physical, some spiritual symptoms. Like, it's like, yeah, life is amazing, you know? When I get that person, I'm not doing a good enough job of asking certain questions, you know? So when I'm doing an intro session for someone, I like to work on physical pain. If they don't have one, I start working on emotional stuff or other physical stuff. If they have none, then I go, what are some goals that you have in life? Now, if they have none, then you can't help someone out because they don't even want to help themselves out. Everyone has some sort of goals, aspirations. Even a millionaire wants to be a billionaire. A billionaire wants to be a trillionaire. Or a great relationship wants to be a better relationship. A spiritual person wants to get closer to God. You know, a person who is already doing good at something always wants to be better. So you can ask, you know, now that you're at ground zero. Now I use that term a lot. What is ground zero? Ground zero means like you're doing pretty good. Like, you know, it's like you're not underneath the ground. Your underground would be like a lot of physical symptoms, a lot of emotional symptoms, and you're kind of underneath the ground. You know, you're like the Walking Dead in some ways. I'm not saying you are, but in some ways. And then we're trying to get you to the ground. Now you're above ground. Like, hey, I'm doing emotionally pretty well, physically doing pretty well. But then the question is, how high do you want to jump? When you want to push on that ground and fly into the sky and take a rocket and just hold on to that rocket, the body code could do that. In fact, I call it the limitless pill because I've helped people make an extra comma in their account. I've helped people find their soulmate. I've helped people with their relationship before. And the sky is literally the limit, you know? And so you might want to change your question. Hey, it seems like you're doing pretty great. That's awesome. And you want to confirm to that person, yeah, it's great that you're there. It's like the body code wasn't meant for like handicapped people to come in. It was meant for everybody. And we all have goals. So what is it in your life that you feel could improve, can get better? What's already a rocket in your life that I can add just a little extra rocket to it? Then just listen to what they say. And yeah, my wife and I are doing very well, but sometimes, you know, just listen to that, you know? Oh, you know, my money's doing pretty good, but I don't have any residual income. It's like, okay. And so then you have to ask the question, how do you want to get residual income? Oh, I want to do it through this. Okay, do you have that? No. Well, then why don't you have that type of asset yet? Oh, because I have fear. Fear of what? Fear of what my wife will say. Okay, so you want to have no more fear to get that asset. Okay, great. So you see how to keep asking why questions and you'll get to the, okay, that's why you don't have that yet. Okay, got it. Oh, relationship. Okay, my relationship could be better. Don't stop there. Say, what could be better? And here's a great question to ask. What's a common theme that you notice in the relationship? What's a common theme that's in the relationship? They might say, I tend to get angry a lot. Okay, anger. Is it like anger or is it more like triggers? It's triggers. I get triggered, like my eyes turn red. Okay, do you have anger in the background at all? Like kind of humming? Or is it just during situational? See, I'm asking more questions. Is that situational anger or is there anger always humming in the background? You never know. Sometimes they might have a bacterial infection affecting the liver, which causes anger, bitterness, frustration, and they feel it all the time unless they detox from that bacteria that's affecting their liver, okay? So you want to ask questions. Page 95 at the bottom is this story about the shoulder. I remember I worked with a guy who I worked on the shoulder. He couldn't move his shoulder for 2 weeks, okay? So I don't know if I've shared this story with you, hopefully I didn't, but for 2 weeks he couldn't move the shoulder. And I just asked him, I said, how does your shoulder feel now? You know, and guess what he said? I still can't move my shoulder. This is what you want to write down. Could it be a do you feel safe to heal? Could have been. But something intuitively was coming to my mind. I'm like, it's not a safety thing. What is this? I'm like, wait, something. And then my mind just came in while I was asking help. While I was just kind of pausing there, I said, it's immune system. So I'm like, what about the immune? And then in my mind, I'm like, what about the immune system? And so I asked him, I said, hey, real quick, do you sleep well at night? He says, no. I'm like, why not? He said, because I'm a bartender. I'm like, okay, got it. And then do you eat well at all? Or do you kind of like do you just kind of eat fast food stuff? He's like, no, he's like, I don't have time to like eat. I'm always kind of busy, so I have to kind of eat on the go. So I'm not eating the healthiest food. Okay, interesting. Do you drink lots of water throughout the day? No. Okay, so he's dehydrated too. How's your stress level? He's like, man, it's the bar. I'm really stressed out. He actually hit all nines on the why he should have low immune system. And he's wondering why his body hasn't caught up to his arm yet. So I just told him, I said, hey, you know what? No problem. Take some water, sleep well tonight. You're probably gonna sleep better than you've ever slept for a while. 2 days later, the next day, 50%, his arm was like starting to move now. After 2 weeks of not moving, then he was still technically processing. Then the next day, he's like full mobility. And he texts me back going, you're not gonna believe this. I'm like, what? My arm can move. He's like, yeah. Finally, his immune system caught up to him because I think he took a nap, he started drinking more water, his immune system was trying to kick in. And so if you do have somebody where it doesn't move right away, be patient. Technically, that person is processing for 2 days. You don't know those 3 immune system stool things, you know, stress, diet, and sleep, you know, the stools, 3-legged stool, right? Okay, 96, leg pain. Okay, so now this is 4th paragraph. He was talking about someone who fell off a balcony, had broken her back, and she didn't really get better. They worked together for weeks without any lessening of her symptoms. I have a client that comes to mind that I did this. Mine was a little different. Her pain went down, and it kind of came back again. Then it went down again, it came back. This one says no movement. But it says here, however, I know that every session we're getting us closer to success. I had to clear a lot of trapped emotions first before we could discover the low-grade infection at the core of her pain and lack of healing. Once we handled that, her pain was gone. But it took time and effort to get there. So you also might want to check with the client too. What's their lifestyle? For example, one of the clients that I was working with her leg pain, she did say, hey, I kind of stretched myself to go out there and did this whole thing for a day. For some reason, my pain came back. Translation, she made an error in judgment and she pushed herself too far when she should have remained healing, you know? That you can't blame on the practitioner. Some people do that. My own practitioner, when she fixed my lower back and she knew that I ran, she says, please don't run the next 2 days, just let your body heal. You know, so it's very good too to give recommendations that if it's a serious issue someone's dealing with, don't have them go out there, because what'll happen is they get too excited and they go out there and start, you know, moving the lawnmower and doing all this heavy stuff. And because they're so excited that they're starting to feel some relief, not acknowledging that they're still healing. So it's very key, like, hey, just take it easy, sleep early, drink lots of water. You got to let them know to kind of allow their body to heal. Okay, page 98. It just talks about the domino effect, you know, how you're releasing things from the bottom up, associated imbalance, associated imbalance, associated imbalance. For example, I'll give you a good example, one that I found today. In somebody that I was working with, there were some, I think I was working with, I can't remember where it was, but there was some prions, mutated proteins in the body. And I asked, is there a reason why you have that? Yes. Okay. What is it? Heavy metals. What type of heavy metal? Was it cadmium? No, it was aluminum. It was aluminum. So, okay, so is there a major reason why you have this aluminum in your body that's inside the body code? It might say no. If it says no, then it could be they're eating food, really bad aluminum pans, eating out too much, and they have aluminum pans. Aluminum in their cans that they drink. They drink a lot of soda. Maybe it's left out in the heat. Aluminum going into the drink that they're having. You never know. Aluminum is everywhere. Comes from the sky, you know, from chemtrails. So coming from the sky, come from below, come from the eating food, it's everywhere, right? Very rare to see someone that doesn't have any heavy metals and they're living in society. Very hard. But the question is there something that gave a majority portion of it? You can muscle test for that. If it says yes, dive in there. This person said it was vaccine. I was like, okay, vaccine toxicity. Did you have a history of vaccinations? And he said, yeah, everyone got the COVID vaccine, bullseye. So COVID vaccine caused the heavy metals, which then caused the prions, mutated proteins. And then so I removed it from the bottom up. That's the whole domino effect. Okay, and that's basically it. That's kind of what I want to share with you guys today. Hopefully you guys gained a lot from this. Feel free to comment below which advice resonated you the most with. If you're not on Heal yet, I always tell people this. We do have a 7-day healing going on right now. I don't remember the one that we're doing. Well, no, we're doing synchronicities this week. Everything to do with removing sabotage from your life, getting into the flow of things, and then attracting more synchronicities. Like good luck just kind of shows up. So if you're interested in that, feel free to comment below. Maybe write synchronicities 2.0, and I'll send you a link below. Or I'll put the link down there so you can have that for yourself. If you haven't joined Heal yet, it's free. It's called haveempathyandlove.com. That's where I'll be doing group healings every single week. And just for being part of that network, you get a free Sunday healing that you can include children 17 and under every single week. That's 52 weeks of healing that I'll be helping you out with. Even if you did nothing in the network, if you just said amen or and so it is when I make a Saturday post, you are in the Sunday healing, getting 8 hours of a really spiritual, deep healing just for being a part of that network. So love to see you there. Feel free to say hi to me there once you get on that platform. Again, haveempathyandlove.com. And look forward, and anyone who just watched Jessica my wife, talk about the AO scan, feel free to email her at healwithjess@gmail.com. Some of you are body code practitioners who are like, oh, I would love a biofeedback technology machine. Love to do scans of the whole body, send frequencies to people's home, send frequency to sugar pellets, program my ring with frequencies, and you can actually program your ring on the phone. It's crazy, and put certain frequencies on there so you experience those feelings and emotions throughout the day. So if you are interested in that, that's healwithjess@gmail.com. Say you watch this video, and again, look forward to continuing to read with you. And again, comment below what resonated with you. What did you like about the last 10 pages? Feel free to put your input down there. I admire you guys as much as you appreciate these videos as well. So with that, take care, guys. Okay, bye-bye.